go live 5 seconds before, so we're nearly... Which camera?
The
That
boom.
one. Boom.
The fancy one that's so fancy it's got weights that hold it down.
That's right. Hey guys, and welcome to the show Impact, where we impact your life and impact your business.
Oh
my
nice.
God, that didn't do that well.
And there was no practicing beforehand.
No, I didn't practice.
It's great. It's great. You're good.
I have practiced. I stood in the bathroom for 20 minutes looking at myself practicing. No. Hey, we want to welcome you to another show. Thank you guys for Thank you guys for joining us. If you are with us on the replay, thank you. Nat and I have been quite excited about tonight's show, haven't we?
Always excited. Always excited. We were laughing before because all the cameras freaking fogged up.
Yes.
And we had, what did you call it? A
Gaussian blur.
A Gaussian blur on us, but thank goodness.
Which I reckon it made me look better, but I don't know. Maybe not.
You always look good, P. You always look good.
Thank
Should
you.
we go to our intro?
Yes, let's go to the intro.
Every week. Do you think we'll ever get that right, P?
I don't think so. I think it's funnier that we never get it right.
Actually, someone said it was part of the appeal of the show, how the intro, we always mistime it and then we say something funny. But
we forget we're on. Yeah, that's crazy.
Actually, we were just saying to our guest tonight how kind of relaxed the show is. Like when you come into the studio, like it's a full blown studio, but the relaxed atmosphere of the show, we have some show notes, but otherwise it's pretty kind of, well, you guys all know I'm about imperfect, but it is totally imperfect because P and I know, you know, with us having our other businesses to run, that if we had too many moving parts, because we don't have our new Impact logo done, we don't have freaking systems, we're so professional, right?
She's digging at me because the
No
Impact
way.
logo is not done because who's supposed to do it? No. But I think it's good because, you know, but we have got a system in place now where we catch up, get together, go over. We've planned the next 5 shows. So, I mean, that helps. We're a bit organised. That makes it a lot easier.
And I think what we like about it and the feedback that we've been getting is about the natural conversation. So even though we do have topics we're going to talk about tonight, we're definitely trying to keep it into conversation.
Yes.
Anyway, Patty, let's get on to some cool stuff. I want to know about what you've been up to this week.
Okay, so this week has been pretty busy for me because I have booked in all my podcast shows. So obviously, you know, I do the Stockhausen show. It's a podcast, and I have been catching up with a whole lot of guests and pre-recording. So I've done.
You've been batching.
Yeah, I've been batching. So it's been really exciting to do. And also, I have been working on my online training. I don't know if you saw on Facebook, but tomorrow I'm doing a Facebook online training for people who need that 101, who are beginning. You know, who are playing around with Facebook ads but actually don't really know how campaigns work. So I'm going to do a step-by-step guide. The producer will put up an image in a second and show you. There it is. So I'm going to do a step-by-step guide. So I'm going to show you how to run a campaign from beginning to end, teach you how to do retargeting. A lot of people have come to me and asked me, what's a pixel? So yeah, what's a pixel and what do I do with it? But people who've been in businesses a long time, Brad, I see you're there. I am talking to you, you know, about putting the pixel up and retargeting. So that is going to be tomorrow at 1 o'clock. It is online training, so you will be able to, if you can't make it, get the video afterwards, and you can ask me questions if you sign up. So I'll put the link in the link below. So I've been working on that.
Just to back that up for you, P, about omnipresence, like often people will say, oh, Nat, you're everywhere, and it's because of the retargeting. So if you don't know about this stuff, then definitely jump on the training with P.
Yeah, retargeting is just, otherwise you're not wasting your time, but if you have natural drive to your website, you can just target that and retarget to those people. It's just a great way to advertise and stalk people. So
Stalk.
Also,
that's what I do. Stalk.
Also, there was an announcement on Facebook this week, which I wanted to quickly talk about because I'm kind of excited about this because this drives me nuts, is when you are on Facebook Messenger, so they're going to take out quite a lot of the notifications in Facebook. In Messenger. So what I mean by that is, you know, when you add a friend and then suddenly you get a bing in your Messenger and you're like, oh, someone's messaging me. But no, it's just telling you, why don't you send a wave to that person?
Yes.
So those are going to get taken out.
Waves and pokes, like it's so confused. Like at the beginning, Facebook was like, poke all your friends. I'm like, that's it, kind of ooh. And
It
now
was
they're
kind
like,
of-
I don't
How many
poke you.
people did you poke?
That's funny. Now it's just like a hello. As opposed to
a wave.
poking.
But it's not unnecessarily, and it annoys people, you know, that sort of, you know you've accepted them because you accepted them, so you don't need, anyway, so that's exciting because Facebook's going to take that out, so, we'll clean out the messenger.
Clean it all up.
A little bit, so. What about you, Nat? What have you been up to?
Oh my gosh. So
Do you even remember?
I don't. I always say to you, I have all these really cool ideas like Wednesday morning and I forget to write them down and go, I want to do that on the show. Dude, this week's been frickin' just survival mode, right?
Oh,
Who can
yeah.
like hands up? Woo. Man, everyone seems to be getting sick. So I've got sick kid this week, sick husband, my sick mum, like,
Just with colds?
just with colds. But you know what it's like when you're like, no, I'm good. I feel great. So I'm going up to Whangarei tomorrow to see some clients and then run an event on Friday. And it's Murphy's Law, right? It happens when all the support crew's gone down and you're like, wow. So it's just that time of year, isn't it? It's about going with that flow, being cool with it. And part of me now has got to the point where if I had to call all those people and cancel an event and clients, everyone would be cool about it, but it's the pressure that you can put on yourself to think that people are going to be so worried. But I'm excited because I'm going to get some new branding picks happening. I've probably had the same branding picks for a good 18 months now, and one thing actually that Nat Cutler-Welsh, one of our guests who had on, one of the ways I met her, Pete, was through, she said, for someone who came out so new, my branding was really strong because of my professional photos.
Yeah, your brand's always been really good.
And I really think it's down to getting good photos.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get some new photos done. It's going to be a little bit more artsy, a little bit quite strong, quite different, which, as your brand grows, it's good.
Yeah.
But I wanted to share that this week, actually, a real theme for me that's come out this week through just my own thoughts, but also when I've been with clients, is the real difference between marketing and sales, and that there is, in fact, a huge difference. Some people just think that putting a post on Facebook is their sales. It's like, well, no, that's your marketing.
Yeah.
That's your calls to action and taking the order and the actual action of asking for the sale that so many women in business are either afraid of, don't know that there is the difference between sales and marketing. So for me, I've been talking to a lot of clients about this. So sometimes we all theme on the same things, but
it's funny, this whole sales and marketing, and how it's almost like people get a bit lazy and they're just like, oh, I've marketed, I've done posts on Facebook and that's it. Like, if you really, really, really want to market your business, you should be marketing your business like 2 hours a day, like working on your marketing as a plan. If you want to be successful, you got to hustle because that's what makes the sales.
Yeah.
And I remember saying this to one of my clients and they were like, what? Like,
what?
I'm not the salesperson in my business. And I was like, well, who is it if it's not you? Because you're the only one in your business,
Sales and marketing. Hello, sales and marketing department.
Yeah.
Accounts department. Freaking
Yeah.
resources department.
Yeah. We're talking about accounts department.
Have you got some account people on?
Well, accounts / money. Nat,
I'm so
let's
slow.
move in.
Good segue.
There was a great segue and someone...
You put it down and I failed to pick it up. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, our guest tonight it's really exciting, and we have to make a joke because I kind of set her up for a hair thing, because I think she has great hair. That's what I remember about her. P and I met her at the Rise event, and she's like, Nat, there's so much pressure around my hair, and I'm like, dude, You've brought the hair. Don't even worry about it.
You look awesome.
But I'd love to introduce Carissa Fairbrother tonight. Welcome on the show. So cool to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
I'm going to do a quick little intro because you have a really succinct, wonderfully written bio that I'm going to read out. So Carissa Fairbrother is an authorised financial advisor, financial wellness warrior and keynote speaker. In 2008, Carissa set up Rival Wealth, a successful financial planning business with her husband Tim. Hi Tim! Tim's watching tonight. From conception, they have developed a team of 20 and still growing, and they manage over 2,500 clients across New Zealand and have a reputation as being market leaders in the industry. As well as a well-respected financial advisor, Carissa launched into public speaking in 2009, specialising in financial wellness for women and women in business. Perfect for the show, right? So after co-organising and presenting 50 Bubbles and Inspiration events for local women in the Waipirapa, Carissa is now on a mission to educate and inspire women across the country to make smarter financial decisions in their day-to-day lives. Seriously, that's freaking cool right up.
That's marketing.
Nice.
That's brilliant.
101. Thanks for reading it and introducing me so
good.
well. I'm just passionate about getting and helping women become financially organised. And not only women, all New Zealanders really deserve the right to feel confident and happy and sleep at night because life's sort of sorted. Do you know what I mean? That would be my total goal for everyone. And everyone thinks money is really boring and, and I just think that it's, it's like breathing, it's like eating, it's like sleeping, it's a necessity. So we need to be, chatting about it. And
It must be a hard
to do it.
It must be a hard sort of subject to get in because we're all taught that money is sort of like the dirty little thing that you don't talk about.
Yeah, and don't talk about it. Never tell anyone what you earn.
All those myths and...
Yeah, but where's that got us?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? I was reading in the paper today, David Boyle, who heads up financial capability in New Zealand, that he's got this idea that people in New Zealand can use their KiwiSaver as their rainy day fund, like doing the first $1,000, so that people, everyday New Zealanders, could be lending from that rather than loan sharks. And I think there's just so much more we can be doing to help.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That is cool.
To lift everyone up, because if we lift everyone up, we solve so many social issues.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know the woman behind this passion, because I'm like, dude, where does this come from? Like, because it is such an innate passion of yours, like, I reckon you couldn't turn this off because it's all in here. Like, where does it come from? Give us a bit of history.
Oh my God, that's a really big question.
Tim and your mum are watching.
A short history, not the.
From a young age, I got my IID number at age 6 from my dad, and I had a paper run, so I used to earn $32 a month. And from a very early age, prided myself on being financially independent. And I think the experiences that I've had pre-Tim, and I made some whopping mistakes, I went into business with someone who I shouldn't have, and I lost a lot of money, but I kind of call that university of life as well. I don't know, I just really, value financial security, and I don't think enough people do. Or I see blasé attitudes, and I just think it wouldn't take too much, and what is it, and why? Is it lack of education or knowledge and role modelling? And now I'm a mum,
Three kids.
3 under 3, that was a good idea. But I want to be a good example for them. And Tim, I know that you're probably going to be saying she could do better. But, if we can set our children up, or the next generation, with financial confidence, where they don't have to bury their head in the sand, where they can talk about it and it's okay to talk about it, I think we're going to solve a lot of our issues.
So I know this is not one of our questions we're going to ask, but I want to go there. Yeah. So as a parent, what sort of things should you be teaching? Because it's not like we've been taught. I mean, my son's he's 19, but I've taught him how to save. So he's a good saver, man.
That's awesome.
It's
That's
terrible because
cool.
he's just like my brother. They just hold on to their money. Honestly, if I run out of money, I have to go to the
Bank
bank of N. You know,
Yeah.
but I mean, what are some quick little tips that as parents we can sort of instill some?
Yeah, well, the first thing is you have to appreciate there's different ages and stages.
Yeah.
So up to the age of 7, kids do exactly what you say. They think that you're godly and what you say goes. Yeah. From 7 to about 13, they role model, so they do what you do. And from 13 plus, they're actually more influenced by their peers and by social media and magazines and all the other stuff. So you've actually done awesome and instilled things really early on. So kids develop their money personality sort of between the age of 4 and 7. Yeah. So we've got to get in early. And there's lots of things you can do, and there's lots of things that it's like, okay, it doesn't happen in self-employment, but paying pocket money consistently. You know, people get paid consistently. Yeah. Not saying you have to do the world to earn your pocket money, but giving them a couple of things to focus on. There's some wonderful apps out there that, because it's all really from the bank of mum and dad, well, it certainly is at this stage, and I don't carry a lot of cash, so I've got an app called Rooster Money. So it's like a virtual bank account, and so then if we're out and they want something, I go, oh, hang on a second.
Let's have a look.
Sorry, honey. No, or, all right.
Oh,
okay.
so no money actually changes hands, it's all through...
Well, it does, but so I take it back out of their account whilst I pay for it. So, and then the other thing is in real life, a husband and I, we pay base money, and then we pay performance.
Yeah, right.
Which sounds really capitalist and over the top, but our 6-year-old might do more than our 7-year-old. So, and one of the banks, and I won't name them, but on their website they recommend that you pay kids by age. So technically and this isn't true, but my 7-year-old should get $7 a week, and my 4-year-old $4 a week. But then if my 4-year-old does more than my 7-year-old, and we're brought up to go, well, you don't pay by age, and you don't pay by gender, and you don't pay by this, but then we're trying to instill we're going to pay you by age at a young age. Do you know what I mean? That sort of clashes. So I think it's about putting your pragmatic hat on and going, what works in the real world and how can we emulate that from a young age? And to have them saving is brilliant. Yeah. With Rooster app, you can, and this is what we do with our grown clients as well. What do you want to save? What do you spend your money on? And what are your goals? And so that you can do that with kids as well. So our kids save started, how long it'll last, I'm not sure, but their saving goals are related to charities. So every time Monty gets paid, $1 goes to the SPCA because he wants to help.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's good.
Animals, you know. So you can. The younger, the better. But then no kid is too old to help get better habits. Anyway, like as adults, we can change. It might be imperfect action, but we can sort of work towards it.
It's funny how they go through stages of understanding money. I remember when Bryn was little, I did the Monopoly game. So I said, this is how much Mum makes.
It's a cool way to do it.
Now you have to give me this much, so we have to pay that to rent, and now we've got this, and now this is all we've got left. And so I did that. But it's funny when he got his job and suddenly the two clicked together. I have to work a whole hour and this is all I got for it, you know, and then purchase something. Well, that was a whole hour of my work just for that item, you know. Suddenly it merges and it's like, welcome to the real world.
It doesn't grow on trees despite what you think.
I think you're coming on tonight to show us how to grow it on trees. Oh, I'm out.
Sorry.
Hey, but I'd love to know how you got here. Like, how did you know all this? Like, tell us a little bit of your career history, a little bit. She rolls out her... Because I think that we attract a lot of businesswomen who, as I've said to you, we've come from a rich tapestry behind us. And so to hear that someone else has possibly had done different things and how you got into this would be really helpful.
Yeah, okay. I think how my career started was I was an exchange student.
Oh, cool.
Really?
In the last year, instead of doing 7th form, I went to Switzerland into a commerce school, and there were many bad things, like all the cool kids smoked outside during school hours, which was terrible.
You needed to like fit in and go and
tried to meet the
peer
the
pressure,
cool people,
locals.
But I was independent from a really young, vulnerable age, really. And then when I came back to New Zealand, of course, I spoke French, and so Qantas were opening a base here in New Zealand, and they wanted French and Spanish speakers, and lots of people applied, but thank be, not many people in New Zealand speak fluent French. And so I flew for a couple of years, and we go to ports, and I used to spend a lot of time in Buenos Aires, and you get all this US dollars, and I used to love not spending it and bringing it home and changing it over. And so at about 20, I was interviewing financial advisors in Auckland, because I was like, well, I want to do more with this. And so I had an interest in the industry, and then I went into business with someone, and it went really sour, and I thought, well, the best revenge is success. And so I then worked with what at the time was New Zealand's largest private brokerage firm, and I worked my way up. I was a broker in my early 20s, and when all my colleagues were older males playing golf, I used to play a lot of golf. And then I met my husband, and we went overseas, and I didn't want to do industry overseas. But when we came home, he was on the investment side of the industry, I was on the risk, and we wanted to live in the Wairarapa, and we both had this, I don't know, like you were talking before, like this innate, like there was no other option for us. People thought we were crazy, after living overseas and living in Wellington and moving back to the Wairarapa, but we just wanted to help people financially, and we wanted to do it in our own community. And so that's
cool.
where it started.
It's really grassroots.
Yeah. And so then it's just, we're now 10 and a half years in business. And
that's bloody well done.
And we're still married.
Tim, we've got Tim on the call.
Yeah.
Tim's phoned in.
Yeah. Tell us the real story.
No, I think it's, I was just very fortunate and in a good space when I met Tim, that I met my best friend. Do you know what I mean?
That's cool.
We work really well together because we complement each other. There was a time when I was pregnant, and he said, okay, will you take over paying the accounts and doing all that jazz? Well, the sky got turned off just before an All Blacks match. I didn't pay PAYE to IRD when I was paying other people's wages, and so he kind of took that back off me, and he's never given that back to me, which is great. So we kind of have our own areas of expertise that complement each other. And yeah, so now we've got a team of 20 who are the best work family, and life's pretty good.
So it's a team of 20 around New Zealand, right? Nationwide?
I know, so we have an advisor in Wellington. We're all based in the Wairarapa at this stage. We're looking at someone in Auckland. We will be opening an Auckland office. But like with yourselves, with Zoom, and Tim's up here in Auckland, I'm up here probably once a month. I have clients from Invercargill through to Whangarei. Whoa, there goes my ear. So you can do business anywhere as long as you understand a client and you have a relationship.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the environment we're in. You can do business anywhere as long as you do good business.
Yes.
And you do business for the right reason. You can do it anywhere.
I've got a question coming. I'm going to ask it.
Yep.
It's based on the one of the kids' ones. So it's from Ange. What's your opinion on, do you save into a bank account for your kids, or do you just contribute to the big ticket items when you need to, like university, weddings, cars? I guess the question depends on your own financial backing, especially if you have a mortgage, but any ideas?
Yeah, well, there's three ways, really, and I don't think any of them are right or wrong. It is exactly what Ange says. It depends on your financial situation. You either go get a student loan and do it yourself. That's what I did. I can afford to pay for it, and I want you to have this education, and you might not do it if I wasn't paying for it, so I'll pay for it. Or I have clients that do if you pass, I'll reimburse you.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
And we won't go there, but it's a bit like the first year free at university. Well, why isn't it the third year when people have actually shown the commitment?
Totally agree.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
totally.
And that's sort of the same principle behind that reimbursement.
Yeah.
So I think there comes a point, if you're enabling your adult child and they're not making good decisions with their money, and that's why you are helping them out, then you have to say no because you're not actually teaching them anything. But education is expensive, and kids need a hand up, especially if they're in Auckland, paying Auckland or the city rents and things. You might find that we might be getting into a subsidising sort of society.
It is expensive.
And just got exactly question mark.
It is expensive, and I'll tell you why. I enrolled my son at university today, a semester early, so he was going to do full year next year, but we've decided to do a semester early. So he's only going to do part-time, so we're only going to do 2 papers. But they're $900 a paper. Yeah. So, that's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
So you got to think about that, because they got to do 8 papers a year, I think.
Yeah.
8 plus.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. And plus they're not...
It's a lot of loans.
Yes, thankfully I had the money saved.
I'm not saying necessarily for you, but for a lot of people, it's then a noose around the old neck.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? I think there has to be a better way, but I'm not sure whether it's paying first year fees.
No, I agree with you. Like when that came out, I definitely thought, let's do the 3rd year. That's something to look forward to. It's like I've done the hard work, and this is, it's all about teaching.
And this is because I'm consistently still doing it.
Yeah.
Now, just going to take us off track.
Yes,
as a watcher of our show, that we have a lot of business women watching, and that's one of the reasons why you wanted to come on, was maybe to do some debunking. I think that's a cool word.
No, it's not off track. Well, let's get back on track.
Oh yeah.
Yes, debunking. I can't wait to hear these.
Debunk some myths.
Oh yeah. Well, I hear so many various statements, and some of them are from educated people, and some of them are from everyday people. Some of them are flippant, but there's a few that I think, am I in the right place to actually maybe enlighten them? But one is, oh no, I don't need to insure my income because ACC will cover me if I'm not at work.
Is it the same for business though?
Yep.
Yeah.
I have had business people say that as well. So there's a difference. ACC pays if you're off work due to injury, not illness. And so 75% of the reason that you are likely to be off business is for illness, not injury. So people think ACC cover everything, and ACC don't.
And so,
and if you've had a degenerative issue as well, they won't cover it.
Right. Sneaky.
Yeah. So you just have to, that's one that I just want to knock out of the ballpark. And especially if you're self-employed, your ability to earn your income is the most important thing, because you've got no one paying you sick leave, no one paying you annual leave, no one paying you holiday pay. So if you're self-employed, I think that is probably one of the biggest things is people need to get around. You need to buy your own sick leave.
Yeah, that's good.
Buy your own sick leave.
I'm putting
I love
that in
that.
top tips.
Yeah.
Buy your own sick leave. Give us an example of buying your own sick leave.
So I think, and then people go, oh, I looked at that once at the bank. Oh, sorry, I'm a bit amateur here tonight. Sorry. People go, I looked at that at the bank and it was just so expensive. But I think that's the importance of getting a really good advisor who understands your situation and where you're at. Because if you have rainy day savings, you might not need money for the first 30 days, the first 60 days, or the first 90 days. It's what happens after 3 months when the bank has going, well, you actually need to pay your mortgage now through to age 65. So you need to look at if you can't afford to cover the whole risk, cover the worst case scenario. And if you're self-employed, they're just like losing weight via the paleo diet or the keto diet or anything. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
And so there are different products out there to suit your industry risk. So, for example, I might get stuck in a copy machine.
Yeah, where would you get?
Where did I get stuck?
I love that.
And, I might get a paper cut. As opposed to someone who might drop a camera on their foot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really important to get advice. And that probably leads me to the next myth, or what I hear commonly, is that I'm not wealthy enough. I'm not doing well enough to have a financial advisor.
Well, because the word financial advisor has a lot of
really posh.
Yeah,
really
so
rich.
posh.
Where in essence what a good financial advisor is doing is they are taking you from A to B, and they're teaching you the tricks to working that little bit smarter and making a few tweaks to actually get you to a point. So the first half of the relationship you might be a risk client, but a good financial advisor, their long-term goal for you is to be a retirement client. They want to grow your wealth and grow your position and your assets and help you achieve your financial goals, and then do all the tweaks with your ACC and are you in the right KiwiSaver fund. You need but you can't just know all of that stuff. You know, you do actually engage a financial advisor before you hit the top echelon.
That's interesting, because I wouldn't have thought.
Really cool.
You know, I would thought you had to be at the end of the game to have a financial advisor, not someone. That is definitely something that.
No. See, my favourite clients, and all my clients that are watching, you're all my favourites. But I love, and I get a buzz out of people who are in business, and particularly in business maybe with their spouse or by themselves, and they're sort of in that sort of 3 to 10 years in business, because they're all different. I love getting my fingers in there and hands in there and really understanding and making some subtle changes that actually have a huge impact at the other end.
Can we talk about then, in terms of paying for a financial advisor, is the way that you get paid through, like, that it's clipped the ticket through the insurance that you're paying? Like, tell us a little bit about that. I'm sure people ask you that a lot.
Oh,
well, how do you get paid?
Yeah, how do I get paid? Well, truth is I don't. No, that's not true. That's not true. It's in the greater pool of love. So a financial advisor, so in New Zealand at the moment it's really confusing, because you have what they call a registered financial advisor, which is someone who can sell insurance products or bank products. And then an authorised financial advisor is someone who can give you investment planning services. So they're the ones who are able to give you personal advice on your objectives, to your attitude for risk, and deliver outcomes from a holistic point of view. So they're not just worried about the insurance, they're worried about the big picture.
Yes.
Whereas a registered financial advisor, they do a good job in the risk-only space.
Yeah, so you're in life insurance, income protection.
There are new regulations coming, so we're all going to be known as financial advisors in the near future, but then have our areas of specialties. So RFA would generally just earn their income by clipping the ticket. But a life insurance product that they clip their ticket on would be exactly the same way that the bank would get remunerated if they sold you the product. It just goes, it's like a mortgage broker. An authorised financial advisor, depending on what stage you're at or what service you need, generally their insurance, you can pay upfront fees. We find that clients are just quite happy for it to go on in the background, but an authorised financial advisor has to tell you exactly what they earn. But when it comes to investment services, we rebate all the trails and the fees and that side of things, and we charge a fee depending on the direction or how many transactions. So anywhere from 0.3 to 1%, I think it is.
Thank you for that, because that's actually a personal
but
question.
No, but it's like a lawyer. They should tell you how much it's going to cost before you engage their services.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what we do.
But that's what I like about you, though, actually, is that is you don't have to be wealthy and have the surplus income to start with a financial advisor.
No.
And you and I were talking pre-show about, I love your analogies around, like, a diet. Like, if you know that you want to shape up or maybe lose some weight, there's a selection of diets, and there's something for everyone. And you gave me that analogy about financial advisor, and I'm like, that is so true, that it can be an everyday.
But the first step is recognizing that something is outside of your area of expertise and you need help.
Yeah.
Like the first step is recognizing that you need more energy, and so that's why you're doing these things. That you've got to do some, like, I can talk someone to the blue in their face, but unless I'm not actually going to implement the change for them, they actually have to come on board and want to change.
Yeah.
They have to change their cash management habits.
Yes.
They have to, want to spend less or earn more. I can't do that for all of our clients. I can guide them.
Could you spend less, please? I've got a couple of questions here too. So, Carissa, do you take clients big and small? Yes. Helping couples, not just the businesswoman.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
I have a range of clients. I have a serial entrepreneur who's 18 and extremely successful. And then our business has, widows, and we manage their portfolio. So it's everything in between. As long as you're breathing and you've got money and you need help and you want some expertise, there's sort of, and what we do at Rival, and I'm sure many other authorised financial advisors do it too, is they offer a free half-hour catch-up. Like, I'm happy if someone messaged me and said, I'd send them through my calendar, they'd pick half an hour, we'd sit on Zoom, and I can gauge pretty quickly whether I can actually help someone or not. And if I can't, I'm not going to want to waste my time or your time, so I'll go, right, I think this is where you need to go, or go back and talk to your accountant about this, or ask your bank that, or do this, or stick with what you've got. That's perfect. I'm available for second opinions as well, because that's a good use of my time rather than running around. I don't want to undo other people's good work.
Yeah.
I want to help more people, not just a few people.
Carissa's going to make sure that she puts up the link after the show of how to get this booking calendar. That'd be good.
Yeah.
So Shannon's got here. Oh no, sorry, Shannon. That was letting Ange know what she does with the kids.
They're all having conversations on the Facebook.
Pre-conversation on the conversation.
That's great. We need to talk
this
about
is what you
it.
wanted.
That's good ideas.
Yeah.
So back to debunking. Number 1, buy your own sick leave. Number 2, I'm not wealthy enough to have a financial advisor.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I've got so many. Oh, here's a good one. Because there's always usually one who's better than the other in a relationship. Mm-hmm. Don't worry, my other half looks after that. I don't need to worry about it. I don't look after that. I don't know about that. Like, even if you don't deal with it, you should know about it.
Yeah.
Because if something happened to that other person, or in your business, like even if you're, you're self-employed and you're working by yourself, if something happened to you, who knows how to close things up? Have you got a Plan B document written out with who your accountant is, who the bank manager is, important names and contacts? Like, we have a Plan B document, and again, I don't know if it's on our website, but I can put a link to it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's a Plan B document where you go and you can fill it out for your other half, who is the one, like you would fill it out for your hubby. And to be fair, Tim would probably fill it out for me, although I know most of it. Who the accountant is, who the lawyer is, where to find the policies, how to get in, are we Vodafone or Spark? What bank are we with?
All your guests watching tonight, do any of you have this? Like, I'm so interested to know why not enough of us have these things.
I don't know.
Is it because she'll be right, mate? Or don't worry about it?
Well, we think it's going to be easier if someone's not breathing, which is just, again,
it won't happen to me.
Yeah, it won't happen to me is another good one.
Yeah.
I'm 6 foot tall and bulletproof, and, we all live on a wish and a prayer and hope that's the case, but when it's not, and guardianship. People who don't organise their wills and estate planning in New Zealand with guardianship. Like, that just astounds me. Yeah, brilliant. Well done. You're getting lots of gold stars tonight.
I know.
Who
would know?
Yeah.
God, yes,
that's
I'm
awesome.
Well, we don't know because we don't talk about it.
No.
Hey, actually, one thing though that I think that we do change is I like being open book financially. If someone said to me, like, often I'll get clients who will be like, okay, so before I jump on board, how much do you earn? Like, I'm open, man. I talk about money all the time, and that's why I get women to face their bank accounts. at least once a day, once a week, you must know what's happening in your bank accounts and your business.
See,
you must face the sales.
Yeah, I was definitely I don't want to know the real story. Like, I was brought up in that, when you were like 16, we all got credit cards. For some reason, there was this massive...
I adopted by you guys,
No, the banks came to our school and signed us up as we were, I think maybe we were 18, because I know we were going to uni afterwards, and we all got credit cards, but there was no... And we got massive overdrawn...
student loan.
But then you don't... Yeah. But you're not taught what happens if you go to the limit and you leave it. So I had to have a very frank conversation with myself once I... for the first time ever, wrote myself a budget, like how much I was spending, and realised, whoa, I'm way living beyond my means, and I had to really change the way that I do everything now, and now I'm debt-free.
I do remember when I did a student loan, I remember when I phoned up to find out, this is back when people actually telephoned people.
I remember. I do remember.
And I phoned up and I was like, I want to pay back my student loan, and I remember the person on the line goes, so you want to what? I was like, yeah, I'd like to pay back my student loan. They were like, are you serious? Like, who does that? And I paid it back. Siri is serious.
Serious about that.
Are you serious?
And actually, I remember going on my OE and coming home with tons of money because I saved it, because I understood the whole, I'll come home and it's times 3. You came home 15 grand.
It might be times 1 point something.
Yeah.
So it's a good time to do it.
Exactly.
A good time to do it.
We're trying to get gold ticks from Carissa tonight, eh? We're like, I do this.
So how do people who are out there, maybe they're new in business, or maybe they just have never done it before, how do you make a financial sort of goal or a plan?
Yeah.
Where do you start?
Yeah. I think this is key if you're in business, or not in business if you're just human.
Human and breathing.
Yeah, human. To get the most out of life, know what you want. Stealing that a little bit from Nat.
Yeah.
And make your goals around that. But to do that, you have to have some... you have to be honest with yourself and honest with your other half. And it could be dreaming big, it could be dreaming small, it could be whatever it is. It's got to be authentically what you want, and you sit down and you plan it.
Do you say that because it's a thing for you, and I love it, that it has to be what you want? Is that because when someone does what they want, not what they should and what they're told to do, because they'll then go bloody do it. They'll go take those actions.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's half the battle, right? They go and do the things.
And I think money has this... it's the root of all evil, and so in relationships we avoid talking about it. But any goal that you have, you can relate it back to a financial goal. We want to travel, we want to go overseas, we want great education for the kids, we want to eat vegan, we want to whatever it is. How be on board. When part of a couple, or even yourself, and I've done it the emotional eating, the emotional spending, when you spend beyond your means, it's because you haven't bought in to your own goal.
Yeah.
Because you're not, otherwise you'd be going up and going, I want this new phone. Actually, more than that, I want to go travelling. So, so we need to review those regularly. We need to sit down and set a money date in our diaries with ourselves or with our other half and go, what is it we're trying to achieve here, and how do we do that? And the more consistent you are in reviewing it, you don't have to, it can be imperfect action, it doesn't have to fit into a box, but the more often that you come back and just think about what it is you're trying to achieve, you get back on track.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
and it's funny, there's some things I'm not actually imperfect about. I'm actually a bit of a geek. So if you came into
Yes, you are.
I am. If you
when
come
it
to my
comes
office,
to financial stuff,
I'm quite a bit of a geek.
You are.
And so I'm like, no man, you have to you have to know, you have to be okay with your money. If it's a bad relationship or a good relationship, you just got to know what it is.
Yeah.
And so, I just high five tonight. It's good.
Yeah. Speak your truth, and especially when it comes to your own money.
Yeah.
And we have a process we go through with our clients, and we tell them to review, because we can all sit down and go, I'm going to spend this much on that and this much on that.
Oh my God, review and get actual results.
Blah, blah, blah. I do this, I do that. What you need to do is export your last 3 months of bank statements into an Excel spreadsheet, code them. I know that sounds really geeky. Maybe you might like that, maybe not. But anyway, and my husband does it. And reviews, actually, we said we were going to do X, but we've actually gone crazy over amount, so it means we won't actually be able to do that next month. We're going to have to wait.
I don't even know to print off the 3 months to know that half the time if you've gone crazy. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, he knows pretty instantaneously. But it's about reviewing, knowing, auditing what you've done. You can't just go, I'm going to do this. But you've got to understand where your habits have come from. And often it's a confronting process, you know. It's not going to be nice. You might have tears. You might have a fight. You might actually have a fight with yourself and go, I cannot believe I've wasted or done all of this when I didn't necessarily have to. You know, but you've got to audit to move forward.
But how do you change those habits? Like, they're learnt behaviours, like you've said, from our parents. How do you break patterns of an overspender?
You sit them down, like my husband does with me sometimes, and goes, look, these are the goals.
Yeah, right.
You bring them back to basics. Yeah. Do you want this or
I had to set rules. I had to set rules. Like, to get myself out of debt, one of the things, I banned myself from the mall. Like, I didn't go to the mall. Yeah. You know, remember I was like saying, it was the first time I went into Kmart? There was a reason.
Yeah, because, right, so you wouldn't spend.
Yeah, I wouldn't spend. So I had to be really strict and really convince myself that I could only buy stuff if I absolutely needed it. Like if something broke or... Because I was a real spendaholic. Like I always had the flashless new phone. I was at the iPhone store at midnight waiting for the new iPhone. You know, that was...
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But that was because it was important for you though,
I'm
right?
an iPhone 6 Plus still.
Get out.
Yeah, so like I had to change everything to... And it's funny, the little things you waste money on. Like I have... I have a budget for coffee. It's a good budget because I'm always having... But that's my like... I love doing that, and if I reduced that, so I think it's about learning about what you will...
You've hit the nail on the hammer on the nail, or whatever the saying is if you like doing something, plan for it, do it, bloody enjoy it.
Yeah.
For me, it's... the issue arose after I had the 3 kids and then I lost my body weight. I was like, hell, I can fit clothes. I've been pregnant for the last 5 years. Well, wasn't that long, but it felt like
Feels
it.
like it.
And Tim said to me, do you know how much you've been spending? And I was like,
maybe not.
No, not really. And so he said, I was like, how much am I allowed to spend? And so now I have a capsule wardrobe budget. And so every quarter I'm allowed X amount. And it's not that I'm not allowed more than that, but we have to communicate about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's going, what is the issue? What is the pain point? And how do we manage that in a way that feels good? And God, I agree. Enjoy the coffee. So now when I do buy something, you know, my friend Darren Schmidt designed this and I loved it. And I bought it guilt-free. Cool. Do you know what I mean? Because I was like, right, it's in my budget.
Actually, that's a really good point about the guilt-free. Often we'll say to clients, especially around, you know, they want to be able to buy things for the business. It's like, well, give yourself a budget, an investment of, you know, businesses need an investment. How much are you going to allow yourself this year for marketing to have people come and help you? And it's about having that, like you
foresight.
Said, or just
and I think
the
it's
non-guilt.
And it's believing in yourself and believing in what you do. Yeah. So I think if you have a business that you totally believe in, and we're talking about social enterprise before, if you have a business that you're serving someone else and their needs before your own, you know, we put the client first. If you really genuinely believe you do a good job and you've got a good product, I think if you're not allowing for those things in your budget, it's because you're not backing yourself. So there are other issues that you need to...
Need to see someone else.
No, but there's confidence issues with money as well. Like if someone was doing a business, it was a great idea, they were great at it, I would be like you. I'd say, you know, invest in it. We have a marketing budget, we have a community budget, we have, we know exactly what we're going to spend on advertising, but you're doing it for the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're buying into your own self in the future, if that makes sense. So you've really got to believe in yourself to be able to do that. We believe in the ability of our team to set cash flow forecasts and budgets and, strategy. But you've got to, it's a hard thing to do if you don't think you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, money and confidence is so good.
You're either growing or you're going. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, and growing or going, you heard that.
Love
people, they think they're growing, but really they're going.
So Nat Cutler-Welsh has just jumped in and said, love you, Carissa. We must buy into our own goal. Hubby and I are total geeks and go on planning dates.
I love that. And I can imagine her too, little firecracker.
She's also said here that Camney and her husband have a $900 spend rule. If it's over $900, they have to ask each other.
Yeah.
That's
quite a big spend rule.
She said she's not sure if that's the right number, but the concept is cool.
Yeah, I love the concept.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mine's 20k. If I have to spend 20k, I have to ask. It's a joke. Because it means that I have to...
Yeah. You have to invest.
Tim's like, don't you hang out with her?
Yeah. No, Tim, she needs to hang out with us because we were talking about our second-hand clothing and you were like, Tim's going to want us to hang out with you. No, that was just once.
It's not. Anyway.
Anyhow, moving on.
Any more debunkers? Debunking myths? The whole I'll catch up on retirement. I'm not. Oh God, here we go again. Sorry, real amateur in studio tonight. People who say, I'm not quite earning enough yet, so I'll start my retirement next year. I'll catch up on it. You can't catch up on compound interest. So it's better to do less than nothing. Oh, that's good. You're
something rather than nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, we go into the psychology of it. It's about believing that you're worthy for the future as well as worthy for the moment.
I like that you aren't just numbers, that you're about the psychology, like the whole person. Yeah. It's cool. You're cool.
Thanks.
Brilliant. I mean, I think a lot of people just think about like retirement. I'll worry about it later.
Or I'm not old, and suddenly you go, shit.
I just turned 40. Well, how'd that happen?
Yeah. God, I'm having heart palpitations thinking about turning 40 at the end of the year.
Are you not even 40 yet? Get off the set. Get off the set.
Get out. Whoa.
I'm so close. I'm so close. I'm sniffing it. I'm nearly there.
You have amazing skin. I've been sitting here going, I wonder if she knows she's got such amazing skin. And your eyelashes, can I just say, you guys can't see them, but Chris, your eyelashes are like so
really long. Yeah. Okay, we'll just...
Hey,
Crashing.
Do you want a kiss?
Yeah.
Tell us about Tim, your real crush, and about working with him. Like, how did...
That must be difficult, being in a business and working with your partner. That would...
Could you imagine doing it with any of your partners?
No.
Before you... I have to tell
What about you? Could you do it with Mike?
Oh, my God. I'm going to tell you a funny story, okay, about that.
As long as you ate pies. Mike likes a good pie.
My husband is an interior plasterer, and he's done it since he was 15. Anyway, so he's very good. So he said, Nat, I need help one weekend, and I was like, seriously, can't you get someone else? Like, come. He's like, no, I really need you, and he was quite desperate. So he didn't tell me that it was 2 stories up, so we had to go up scaffolding, right? And he said to me before we hopped out of the van, he said, Nat, I have to be really honest with you. You have to listen to me. We're on a site, we're on a building site. I am the boss because maybe the pants have fit a little bit. And he said, babe, you need to listen to me. I'm the boss. I know what's happening. So he made me lift and mix buckets of plaster and carry, like I was the actual lackey, and carry them up these ladders. And I'm terrified of heights. And I'm just like freaking out. Aww. And I had to scrub the plaster on. Meanwhile, I'm freaking out about the height. He had a great time. It was the most horrendous time I've had. But it was amazing to watch his execution. And I was like, you need to bring some of that home. He was military precision in his element. I couldn't have done it again. I've never done it again. It's the one and only time I've done it. So no, I don't know how you work with your husband.
Yeah. We purpose-built our own building. We used to be in the same office. Recently, I've been moved out to the other office, and I keep threatening I'm going to move back. He's like, no, you're fine. But I think the reason it works is we both have our own areas of expertise.
Yeah.
And he's a visionary, and he is, as soon as we've got to a point, and it's generally him working too much, because I had 12 weeks off with the first baby, 14 with the next couple, just because we were so young in our business and I needed to be there as well, that when he starts working too long, we get someone else, and it takes the pressure off. So that's why we've grown, is because he just keeps working. He's got all these ideas and the business grows, and so he just we keep bringing more people on. I think it helps we both absolutely love our team and our work family.
Yeah.
And we
you guys seem really aligned to what you're doing.
Yeah, and we work with some of the coolest people you've ever met, who really get the idea as well. So it actually doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, that's
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Other things we do is, about 5-6 years ago, we realised that all the decision making was just happening between him and I, and you can say yes or no to each other very easily, and he was shooting down some of my great ideas, like getting an app, and now someone else has gone and done exactly what I said.
Are you like, I just snorted. Are you like, see, we should have done that?
Well, I am now. And likewise for him. So we got on a board of advisors. So at the start of every year, we debrief, full financials, 1, 5 and 10 year goals with other people who we respect, so that we're not the only decision heads as well. So we can't argue about things because we've had the opportunity to discuss it in a wider forum.
I think that's good. I think that's awesome.
And we have a rule about pillow talk that, when you come home, like, we don't have any computers. We don't have a home office. I think for us has been really, like, Tim will still work.
That's cool.
And I can still work on my phone, but when we're home, we're home. And we're supposed to, when you're in bed, you're not allowed to mention work at all. But then again, you have to be flexible. Our accountant, we loved our accountant. He sat on our board of advisors, and we got a call in February. He was leaving, and we were gutted because, we've had a number of accountants over the 10 years, and he's been by far the best one we've ever had. And so when it was no pillow time talk, when we're having a glass of wine, we kind of started thinking, well, I wonder, why doesn't he come and work with us under our umbrella? What about starting rival accounting? And those ideas flow outside of ours, and so we propositioned him. And so, 2 weeks ago, we launched a chartered accountancy.
Wow.
Because we broke the pillow talk rule.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So it's about being flexible, and talking, I think, and bearing, like, we still get angry at each other. He possibly gets angry at me more than I get angry at him. He might say that's a myth. But I think it's about talking.
Yeah,
about
that's cool.
really being open.
Something else I wanted to talk to you about, and I thought it was a really cool topic, and I feel like it's a theme of ours, that we have guests on who are so awesome that they do a few things. So you have Rival Wealth, but you also have your own page for your talking.
Yes.
Talking, for your speaking and
Yes.
events. And you also have Bubbles and Inspiration.
Yes.
So I think it's really cool for the businesswoman on tonight to know that it's okay, again, to have more than one thing happening. Can you tell us a little bit about the other two?
Yeah, well, I love Rival Wealth, but I'll go Bubbles first. So when we first moved to the Wairarapa 10 years ago, I had this amazing friend, Sarah, and we both married into the region, and we wanted to do something for women. And the Wairarapa, you didn't even know where the hell it was.
No,
let's be honest.
I knew where Wairarapa was to start.
Let's move on. Let's
A
move
lot
on.
of
When there's
people
wine
bypass
there,
a lot of people bypass it. So the idea was, how do we get great women speakers to the YRAPA. So we created Bubbles and Inspiration, which is a database of local women, and we've had everyone from Barbara Kendall to Dame Trelise to Judith Collins to, we're actually up to about 60 events.
Wow.
And that's community driven. We don't do that for money, we do that for love and for lifting people's spirits, you know.
Well, when you need a couple of guests.
Well, I tell you what, you're on my radar. You just need to turn sort of left at Wanganui. Thank God, GPS will get you
I see
there.
where it is.
And then Carissa Fairbrother, the financial wellness warrior, that's because I like talking about financial wellness, not necessarily products. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can give people personalised advice, but I was like, how do I inspire lots of people to go home and have conversations about money? How do I get people to get their guardianship done? How do I get people to insure their most important asset, which is their own ability to earn? How do I do that en masse? And so that's where the financial wellness speaking side comes, but it kind of links back into rival wealth as well, because quite often when I speak or do things like this, people go, well, actually I think I'm relatable to her, or I think I could work with her, or she might get me, and so that naturally then goes back to rival wealth. So I sort of, and it's nice having something of my own as well. But social media wise, I don't do it all very well. I go in fits, you know, I do it really well and then I do nothing, and then I do it really well and then I do nothing.
I really, really like your analogy around the wellness industry, like fitness, and you've brought like financial fitness into it for me, and I really like that, and it's really awesome. Yeah, thank you for coming on for me. I got lots out of that.
So did I. So if you want to find out more, we will put in the links in the comments so that you can get more information. And if you have any questions, we always jump on Thursday and Friday to answer those questions. So if you've got anything that sparked your interest, jump in and comment. You can, obviously we've got people watching on 2 different pages, so obviously from the Stockhausen's page and Natalie Tolhoff's business page, so jump on there and write your comments and we will answer them.
Before we go though, we do this every show. I was trying to take notes, but I'm not good at top 5 tips for business women. You've got to give us your top 5. No pressure now.
Speak your truth and align yourself with your financial goals.
Love it.
Buy your own sick leave.
That is good.
That is good.
Get your plan B sorted.
Yep. We had a few people asking for the plan B doc.
Yeah. All doctors. Engage an expert. If it's me, happy, but if not, let it be someone. Yep. And doing something is better than doing nothing.
Yeah, I think that is cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
And you don't have to understand it all, but you have to do something.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
It's gone so fast, it's like 2 minutes past 9. Where did that go?
Boom.
I know, we could definitely dive in more deeper in this topic. I think it's really an important topic that, everyone should get into.
I agree. Couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more.
Oh, and I love that we've been able to help the financial wellness warrior in you, for wanting you to get the message out there, because
thank you.
The more we can get it out to people, the better, isn't it going to be?
It's okay to talk about it.
That's right. All right, so that is us. We have gone over time, but it has been well worth it. I always forget which camera I'm looking at, but
there's cameras here. I just want to say, look at my sparkles for TV tonight. I'm excited. That's about it.
Look at mine.
We've got the same sleeves, but I've got the sparkles.
Mine's cheaper. We'll catch up with you guys next week. Don't forget to tune in Wednesday 8 p.m. for our next show. And if you guys have any questions, jump in the comments. And if you love the show, as always, share it out, because we just think it's worth it.
Hey,
see
and
you guys.
Next week there's going to be a logo.
Oh, see ya. Bye. Bye.
It always feels like we just started.
Yeah. I looked at my watch. I was like,